and welcome to today's class. My name is Vita, and today, together, we're going to talk about Introduction to Project Management. In today's lecture, I'm going to cover some basic concepts within project management discipline, and within the course of this module, we're going to cover many more, from budgeting to project management, core to skills required to be a good project manager, and many others. Basically, the key importance of this topic, the objectives of this course, is to equip with you required skills for you to continue career or studies within the field, and to actually help you to understand the project management discipline and to try to apply these theoretical concepts into practice. So it's a very, very practical course. So when we talk about project management, normally people use such concepts as GPS, which is goal, plan, and status. At any given time, when we are delivering a project, we need to know where are we heading with the project, what's our target or the end goal. We need to have a plan how we're going to get to where we need to be. And finally, we need to be able to report on the status. What is the status of the project today? How far in we are, and what have we achieved today? So there are a number of key concepts, as you can see currently on the screen, a number of key people and procedures that kind of make up the project management discipline. Normally people are very aware of a project manager, so the person who manages work. What we forget that it's not only a person who manages work, it's a person who has the accountability and has the push to deliver the project. Then if we go further down the line, there is a project manager, so it's the discipline that we're currently talking, which essentially refers to application of various standards. When we learn, and you will learn this in this course, project management consists of a lot of different standards, tools, techniques, which once you learn how to apply and you start applying, that's what makes up the project management. So one part of it is a PM process, project management process. So something predictable, something smaller, sub-concept of a discipline, which taken together and if we use it, becomes project management. Finally, project plan. This is a document that everybody knows. It's a plan which we define and which we track against. There are many other documents within project management, and as we go along, we will cover them as well. Finally, project. Before we start actually talking about project management and how to be able to do that, we need to think, what is a project? And at the moment on the screen you can see 5 project characteristics, and one of the key ones is that project has a very specific start and stop date. So there is a temporary object, and it's temporary, so it has to have a date when it starts, and it can't be a lifelong. It normally is produced or performed by resources. It can be internal to organizations, sometimes they're external, it differs. Finally, it has to work towards achievement and delivery of very specific goals. And within an organization, these goals and this target has to be prioritized. So normally projects also have different priorities. And finally, every project has a very defined scope, time and cost. And I'm going to get back to this bullet point 4 shortly, because this is very important in a project management discipline or practice, because scope, time and cost, they're always linked and they affect the quality of the project. So what I just mentioned in terms of how they are connected, so there are 3 combinations. At the moment on the screen, you can see something that it's called the iron triangle. In 1980s, the very first iron triangle, which you can see at the top left-hand corner, was established, which has had quality, cost, and time on it. And essentially, the proposition was that these 3 components are linked. So obviously, if we want to deliver a good quality project, we need to have an adequate cost for it and time. Later on in the day, so this is the opposite triangle to this one, this triangle started being expanded, and they moved quality not as a kind of 3 bits of triangle, but moved it in the middle, stating that actually at any given time, essentially only 2 concepts are connected, which means that if we're increasing the scope, so the top of a triangle, that means that we need to increase either cost or time of a project, or likely both. So that one change in the triangle effect had a very significant impact on the other 2. And finally, which I found extremely interesting actually, the very bottom our triangle has been recently introduced with an understanding that actually projects is not only about delivering a specific goal, it's also about people who deliver it. And this iron triangle put people in the middle, saying that actually other components of a project do affect people, and that's extremely important because without people we can't deliver. So if we're increasing, quality or increasing a schedule, people might be affected. So that will affect costs and other combinations. So that's about the project iron triangle. Currently on the screen you can see key documents, deliverables and approvals. So project management does have a lot of stages, and it has combinations, and it has variety of project documents. These are some core ones which we are going to talk about and discuss and actually work on together throughout the course of this module. However, for now you just need to know what type of project documents there are and how does it work. These documents also differ and dependent on what type of project delivery you do, whether it's agile or whether it's a waterfall or any other one. But again, we're going to get back to this topic at a later stage. One interesting point that I already mentioned, and I would like to move back, is about superior teams and developing a team in addition to delivering a project. Often what I see within a project management discipline, myself coming from a very practical background in addition to my academia work, that people and projects and project managers, they tend to focus on delivering successfully the project, which of course must be a key. However, at the same time, there is an increasing focus that actually if a team is not happy, if it's not a good performing team, which is, well looked after, the project won't be successful. There is this very interesting research from year 2000, which you can see on a screen currently, which looked at this relationship between project success and the team development, and found that superior teams had some key elements such as focus, communication, commitment, and these components enable them to deliver and to perform very well on a project. At the same time, the same research found that project manager, besides delivering a project, was just a very small part of the project management work. There was way more, such as team building, being a model, being a coach, telling the stories, encouraging this commitment. So again, throughout the course of this module, we're going to get back, we're going to look how to develop these skills and what are the practices. But for now, you can have a look at this research, which is very interesting. And finally, before we kind of split our ways today, I wanted to bring up and talk a little bit about project management certifications. So learning project management at university is one way of learning, and that is extremely important to get some basics. However, if at a later stage you decide to go into industry and work within the project management field, and especially if you are planning to do a career in it, there are very key project management certifications which you can see on a screen. Some of them, they depend on a country. For example, registered PM, there are different equivalents. There are some in Australia, some in other countries. However, others are widely accepted, like PMP and Prince2. And finally, Scrum Manager, which is becoming very popular now. I won't dwell too much on these for now, But throughout the course of this module, again, we're going to go through this. We're going to look what are the requirements, and I'm going to explain what are the difference in general, how the project management field shaped, how from the very old age waterfall approach, now it's moving to a more flexible, more agile approach as we speak. So these were the topics that I wanted to cover with you in today's lecture. We had only 10 minutes, so it's just a whiz through some very, very basic concepts. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any questions, please let me know your questions, and looking forward to seeing you again in the next class. Thank you very much and have a great day.